Anger is a natural part of being human. It arises as an instinctive reaction when we feel hurt, wronged, or threatened. But have you ever noticed that sometimes anger itself becomes the greatest enemy we must face? If left unchecked, it can become destructive, not only harming others, but also damaging our own inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and emperor, once said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" Think about it. How many times have you let your mind be consumed by anger, only to say or do things you later deeply regretted? If we allow anger to control our lives, it can ruin relationships, shatter peace, and cause us to lose the best version of ourselves. However, this does not mean we are powerless. Fortunately, Stoic philosophy provides us with practical tools to deal with anger wisely and effectively. In today's video, I will introduce you to 7 simple yet effective practices to help you manage and regulate anger in your daily life. These practices not only help you release anger, but also bring peace and clarity to your mind. Let's embark on this journey together. Practice number 1: emotional awareness. Anger is a powerful emotion that can lead us to mistakes if not controlled. However, facing anger is not merely about suppressing feelings. It requires a deep understanding of oneself, mindfulness to recognize it, and the willpower to transform it. As Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Becoming aware of emotions, particularly anger, is a challenging but essential journey. It's not about extinguishing emotions, but learning to guide them, transforming emotions from a ruler into a companion. On deeper reflection, we come to realize that the things bringing happiness and peace in life are never easy to achieve. Imagine you are driving during rush hour. A driver behind you suddenly honks loudly and overtakes, then cuts in front of your car rudely. Your heart races, frustration surges, and a thought flashes in your mind. "I won't let him get away with this." But instead of honking back or shouting, you decide to pause for a moment. You grip the steering wheel lightly, take a deep breath, and tell yourself, "Responding to him will only escalate the situation and could be dangerous. I choose to control my emotions." This act of self-control transforms a moment of potential conflict into an opportunity for growth, exemplifying the power of emotional awareness and resilience. In that moment, you not only ensured your own safety, but also maintained composure amidst the chaos. Your actions were a silent declaration of self-respect and emotional control. The driver may not have changed, but you conquered your anger, a victory far greater than any argument. This is the power of emotional awareness and thoughtful action. The story illustrates an important point. Mastering emotions, especially anger, is no easy task. Yet, it is these challenges that shape your character. They help you understand yourself better and build inner strength to face life's unpredictability. To deal with anger, the first and most crucial step is awareness. We cannot control what we do not understand. Awareness here does not mean denying your emotions, but recognizing their presence. When anger arises, ask yourself, "Why am I angry? What is the real cause of this emotion? Will my reaction improve the situation or make it worse?" These questions not only help you pause before reacting, but also provide an opportunity to understand the motivations and true origins of your emotions. This aligns with the teachings of Stoic philosophy, not being swayed by external circumstances, but focusing on what you can control. One of the simplest and most effective methods to deal with anger is to pay attention to your breathing. When emotions arise, your body reacts instantly, your heart rate increases, and your breathing becomes rapid. This is the moment to pause and direct your full attention to your breath. Try following these steps. Step 1. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. Step 2. Hold your breath for 4 seconds. Step 3. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Step 4. Repeat this process 3 to 5 times. This simple action not only helps you calm your body, but also creates space for clearer thinking. Breathing is a bridge between the body and the mind, and mastering it allows you to master yourself. Emotional awareness is not a skill you can acquire overnight. It is a journey that requires patience, practice, and determination. However, once you begin, you'll realize that every step brings you closer to inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius taught, true strength does not lie in controlling the external world, but in mastering your own mind. This begins with small practices, such as recognizing anger and regulating your breath. Challenge yourself today and discover the true power within you. The next exercise will guide you further on the path to mastering your emotions. Practice number 2. Pay attention to your breathing. Anger is a powerful emotion and is often difficult to control. However, like any other emotion, it is not an enemy, but a signal for us to recognize and confront. One of the most effective ways to deal with anger is to focus on your breathing. This is not just a simple technique, but also a profound practice emphasized by Stoic philosophy. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you let anger control you, you lose your autonomy. But when you pause, acknowledge, and adjust your emotions, you not only take control of yourself, but also shape how the world perceives you. And all of this can begin with something simple: paying attention to your breath. When anger arises, the first thing you need to do is recognize that your thoughts are in an angry state. If you don't realize you're angry, you can't control it. This is the starting point of mindfulness, a technique encouraged by both Stoic philosophy and modern psychological methods. Imagine a specific situation. You just received a critical email from a colleague. Immediately, a wave of discomfort surges within you. In that moment, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What state is my mind in? By asking this question, you may realize, I feel offended and I am angry. Recognizing this is the first step to pulling yourself out of the spiral of negative emotions. Once you acknowledge your anger, the next step is to shift your focus from your emotions to your breathing. When we are angry, our breathing changes noticeably. It becomes faster, shorter, and shallower. This is the body's natural response, preparing us for a fight or flight. However, this type of breathing sends signals to the body that the anger is intensifying. At this moment, instead of letting your breathing follow your emotions, you can do the opposite. Control your breathing to calm your emotions. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then slowly exhale through your mouth. Repeat this 3 to 5 times, and you will notice your heartbeat slowing down and your mind becoming clearer. Continue with the situation where you receive a critical email from a colleague. When you realize you're angry, instead of hastily writing an emotionally charged reply, you decide to pause. You take your hands off the keyboard, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. You take a deep inhale through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and slowly exhale through your mouth. You repeat this a few times, feeling your heartbeat slow down and your mind becoming clearer. The anger no longer controls you, and instead, you find yourself able to approach the situation more rationally. After a few minutes, you reopen the email and carefully read each word. Instead of reacting emotionally, you take the time to craft a professional response, demonstrating calmness and sharp reasoning. The result is not only avoiding damage to your relationship with your colleague, but also affirming your dignity and self-control. It all began with one small action, paying attention to your breath. When you control your breathing, you not only calm your body but also send a powerful message to your mind. You are in charge of your emotions. Disrespectful people often expect an explosive reaction from you. By choosing silence, not only do you unsettle them, but you also display your composure and self-respect. Practicing breath control not only helps you cope with anger, but also improves your quality of life. This is a simple technique that requires persistence and mindfulness. Every day, spend a few minutes focusing on your breath, even when you don't feel angry. This helps you build a habit and prepares you for challenging situations. In Stoic philosophy, anger is not an enemy to eliminate, but an opportunity to cultivate emotional control and personal dignity. By paying attention to your breathing, you not only address anger, but also move closer to peace and self-mastery. Two core values that this philosophy highly emphasizes. Start now. When anger arises, instead of reacting immediately, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I thinking? What do I want? This is the key to unlocking a calmer, stronger soul. Practice number 3. Reflect on your thoughts. Anger is a natural emotion, but when uncontrolled, it can destroy relationships, hurt oneself, and lead to serious consequences. In Stoic philosophy, reflective thinking is a core practice for confronting anger. It not only helps us manage our emotions, but also cultivates inner tranquility and the ability to handle issues wisely. Think about this. When you come home after a long day at work, you might have experienced this situation before. After taking a shower and lying down on the sofa or bed, what's the first thing you do? You take a deep breath in and exhale. This simple action is your body signaling your mind that you are preparing to relax. Similarly, when anger arises, take a few seconds to breathe deeply. Inhale slowly, hold it briefly, and then exhale completely. Doing this 2 to 3 times will help calm your body and mind, allowing you to view the issue more calmly. Once you're calm, ask yourself, why am I angry? What is truly bothering me? This is the step of reflective thinking, a process of turning inward to understand that anger doesn't come from external events, but from how you interpret them. If someone says something that makes you feel offended, remember that their words only have power if you allow them to. What you are truly angry about is not the words themselves, but the expectation that others should treat you in a certain way. Understanding this allows you to perceive things more gently. Anger is not the problem. The issue lies in how we respond to it. In every situation, you always have a choice. Either react negatively or find a more positive way to respond. Stoic philosophy teaches that hatred can never be ended by hatred. Only love and kindness can achieve that. In moments of anger, remember that anger never resolves the issue. Instead of reacting strongly, practice kindness and patience. Others may not change, but the peace within you will make everything feel lighter. We often hear heartbreaking stories about decisions made in anger, leading to lifelong regret. A careless word or an impulsive action can deeply damage a cherished relationship. Therefore, before reacting, ask yourself, is this really worth it? Will it bring benefit or harm to myself and others? Managing anger is not something that can be achieved overnight. It requires daily practice. Start with small steps. Practice deep breathing, reflect on your thoughts, and choose positive responses. Over time, these habits will become a part of you, bringing peace and self-respect that nothing can shake. Remember that every moment of anger is an opportunity to train yourself and build inner strength. When you control your anger, you not only master your emotions, but also take charge of your life. Have you ever tried these practices to deal with anger? Or do you have other methods to stay calm in difficult situations? Share your experiences in the comments. Let's learn from one another to live more peacefully and grow stronger together. Practice number 4. Try the 30-30-30 intervention. Anger often resembles a small, smoldering flame within, but if left unchecked, it can flare up into a fierce blaze, consuming everything in its path. When the feeling of anger arises, you may find yourself caught in a whirlwind of instinctive reactions, making it difficult to step back and consider what you truly want to do. This is where the 30-30-30 intervention method emerges as an intelligent, practical, and powerful escape inspired by Stoic philosophy. This method is designed to help you regain control in situations where anger seems overwhelming. What makes it unique is its simplicity. With just 3 stages, each lasting 30 seconds, you can restructure your emotions and transform your response. Step 1. Remove yourself from the situation. 30 seconds. When anger flares up, the first step is to remove yourself from the source of the frustration. Take 30 seconds to leave the space, even if it's just stepping out of the room or taking a short walk. Changing your environment helps alleviate stress immediately and creates distance between you and the situation. For instance, imagine you've just had a heated argument with a friend. As feelings of anger begin to rise, instead of reacting immediately, tell yourself, I need a few minutes to think about this. Leave the room, stand by a window, or step into the hallway. Take deep breaths and allow yourself some space to reframe your thoughts. Step 2. Do something else. 30 seconds. Once you've separated yourself from the source of your anger, spend the next 30 seconds engaging in an unrelated activity. This could be a simple breathing exercise or thinking about something light and pleasant, like planning your dinner. This action not only diverts your attention, but also reduces the brain's chemical response triggered by anger. You might try a breathing exercise such as inhaling through your nose for 4 seconds, holding your breath for 4 seconds, and exhaling through your mouth for 8 seconds. Just a few breaths can help you feel relaxation, gradually spreading like a gentle breeze, extinguishing the flames of anger. Final step. Make a coping statement. 30 seconds. The last 30 seconds are for self-reassuring statements that can soothe your emotions. This is the moment to remind yourself of what truly matters and find a constructive way to handle the issue. For example, if you feel angry at an unfair boss, you might say to yourself, my anger does not define who I am. I will respond calmly and not let my emotions dictate my actions. Statements like these not only help dissipate anger, but also foster a deep sense of control and self-respect, a core value of Stoic philosophy. The 30-30-30 intervention is a powerful tool for managing immediate anger, but for long-term improvement, it's essential to understand the root causes of these emotions. This is where the practice of keeping an anger log becomes crucial in recording situations that trigger your anger and how you respond. This method not only deepens your self-awareness, but also equips you with better tools to handle emotions in the future. Let's delve into this practice in the next section, where we'll explore how to observe, document, and overcome anger in a sustainable way. Practice number 5. Keep an anger journal. Anger is a common emotion, sometimes erupting fiercely and leaving behind unintended consequences. But can we control and transform it into a valuable lesson? The answer lies in self-observation, and one of the most effective methods is keeping an anger journal, a simple yet profound practice to explore your mind and emotions. The ancient Stoic philosophers emphasized that emotions like anger are not enemies, but opportunities to understand ourselves and cultivate self-discipline. As Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." But how do we achieve that delay? The key is to acknowledge the emotion as soon as it arises. When you put pen to paper to write about your anger, you are not only delaying but also reflecting on what lies beneath. It is in that moment that you transition from reaction to awareness, and it is this awareness that brings strength. Keeping an anger journal is not merely about venting emotions. It is a process of self-analysis that helps you answer 3 crucial questions. What made me angry? Where and when did it happen? How did I react? And why did I feel that way? Imagine a moment of frustration when you're stuck in a long queue at the supermarket during rush hour. The annoyance of feeling like your time is being wasted quickly escalates, leading you to frown and snap at the cashier. Writing about this incident in your journal might reveal that your real emotions were not truly about the queue itself, but stemmed from a lack of time management during the day, resulting in stress. This insight is a valuable lesson. The issue is not the circumstance, but your reaction to it. Let us consider the life of Mahatma Gandhi. He was once expelled from the first-class compartment of a train in South Africa solely because of his skin color. Although deeply angered, he chose not to react violently. Instead, he took time to reflect and document his feelings. His journal not only helped him manage his anger, but also became a source of inspiration for the anti-racism movement that followed. His transformation of anger into calm, steadfast action changed not only his life, but also the world. Practicing an anger journal doesn't have to be complicated. You can follow these simple steps. Step 1. Choose one situation per week. Record an event that made you angry, whether it was big or small. Step 2. Answer 3 basic questions. What happened? When did it happen? And why did you feel that way? Step 3. Analyze your emotions. Ask yourself, where does this anger come from? Was it due to an unmet expectation or a loss of control over the situation? Step 4. Learn from the experience. Reflect on what you could do differently if the situation were to happen again. An anger journal not only helps you understand yourself better, but also serves as a powerful tool for learning to live more peacefully. Try writing down your anger, line by line, and turn it into a valuable lesson. If you've ever felt that a moment of anger has changed your life for better or worse, share your story in the comments section. What do you think? Is anger a challenge or an opportunity? Share your thoughts below. Practice number 6. Focus on relaxing instead of venting. Have you ever observed a rushing stream after a heavy rain? The water surges powerfully, sweeping away everything in its path, from small stones to massive trees. For a moment, You feel as though nothing could stand in the way of such force. But then, after its fury subsides, the stream quietly finds its way to the ocean, returning to its inherent calm. Anger is much like that rushing stream. If not carefully guided, it can destroy everything in its path, including yourself. However, if you learn to relax, you can help it return to the deep peace within you. A common analogy to describe anger is the image of a pressure cooker accumulating steam. According to conventional wisdom, to prevent it from exploding, you need to release the steam. However, the reality is far more complex. Professor Brad Bushman, a renowned psychology expert, once asserted that venting anger might be the worst choice you can make. Why? Because this action not only fails to calm your anger, but actually intensifies it. Imagine this. You're trying to extinguish a small fire by pouring gasoline on it. What happens? Instead of dying out, the flames surge higher, spiraling out of control. Similarly, when you vent your anger through yelling, criticizing, or impulsive actions, negative emotions aren't alleviated, they grow stronger. This cycle traps you in a whirlwind of emotions, causing harm to both yourself and those around you. Instead, calmness and silence are the most effective pressure release valves. Anger must be managed through inner control, not external outbursts. Learning to restrain yourself not only protects your dignity, but also fosters healthier relationships that aren't dominated by emotional outbursts. When you yell, punch, or do anything to vent, you're merely maintaining a heightened state of physical arousal. This doesn't address the core issue, but only drags you deeper into anger. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" These words remind us that failing to control our anger can lead to unforeseen and severe consequences. Now, you may ask yourself, if venting isn't effective, what should I do when I feel angry? The answer lies in an opposite strategy, not adding fuel to the fire, but learning to calm the flames within you. This means that instead of running, engaging in intense exercise, or trying to get rid of your anger through high-energy actions, you should guide yourself toward a state of relaxation. When you feel stressed, pause and focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath in, exhale slowly, and pay attention to the sensations in your body. Small actions such as stretching, meditating, or simply closing your eyes for a few minutes can help reduce agitation. Bushman also emphasizes that reducing arousal not only helps you manage anger at the moment, but also improves how you handle similar situations in the future. When you are calmer, you can see the true nature of the problem more clearly, rather than being swept up in the chaos that anger brings. Stoic philosophy highlights that anger does not stem from external situations, but from how we respond to them. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Therefore, learning to control your emotions is not just a temporary exercise, but a long-term journey to build inner strength. Practice number 6 is the next step to incorporating this philosophy into your daily life. It not only helps you control your anger, but also enhances your personal dignity. Instead of reacting impulsively and letting anger take over, you choose to rise above it, turning it into a lesson you fully master. View anger not as an enemy to be unleashed upon, but as an opportunity to practice calmness and self-mastery. Every time you feel anger arise, see it as an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and closer to the serene nature that Stoicism aspires to cultivate. Just remember, relaxation is not avoidance. It is a quiet but powerful declaration of your inner strength. Practice number 7. Take a time out. Lesson 7. In the journey of learning to control anger through Stoic philosophy is not merely a simple technique, but a profound reminder of the value of stillness and inaction when emotions surge. People often mistake the act of venting emotions, such as yelling or smashing things, as a way to release anger. In reality, this only fuels the emotional fire. This is where the lesson of pausing, stepping back, and reducing stimulation demonstrates its power. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca's words resonate as a reminder that it is our mind, not circumstances, that causes us distress. Anger is often likened to steam building up in a pressure cooker. If not released, it may explode. But does venting by shouting or lashing out really solve the problem? The truth is that such actions don't alleviate, but rather amplify the body's level of arousal. Carl, a man who once struggled with anger, shared his story about how his method of venting backfired. Carl was a sports enthusiast who often went running whenever he felt angry. He believed that sprinting at full speed through the streets would help him burn off his frustration. However, after a heated argument with a colleague, he stormed out and began running in a heightened emotional state. As he ran, thoughts of the perceived injustice consumed him. The farther he ran, the more his heart raced, and his anger did not subside. By the time he returned home, Carl was physically and mentally drained, yet the bitterness lingered. It was at that moment he realized he needed a different approach. He needed to rest rather than further stimulate his body. Why is resting important? When we are angry, the body enters a state of intense stimulation. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten, and the mind is clouded by negative thoughts. If you immediately react or jump into action, you're only adding fuel to the fire. As the Stoic philosophers advise, the key is not to vent, but to cool down. A brief period of rest, even just a few minutes, can work wonders. What can you do during this time? The simplest method is deep breathing. Breathe in slowly, hold your breath for a few seconds, and then exhale gradually. This not only helps the body release tension, but also brings the mind back to a state of balance. Remember, resting is not the same as avoidance. Instead, it's a smart strategy to step back and observe the situation with greater clarity. Seneca once said, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." It is self-control, not anger, that leads us to inner peace. After realizing that running when angry wasn't helping, Carl decided to try a different approach. One day, when he felt on the verge of exploding due to a disagreement with his boss, he didn't storm out as he usually would. Instead, he excused himself from the meeting, went to a quiet corner, and focused on his breathing. Within just a few minutes, he felt his heart rate slow down and his thoughts became less intense. When he returned to the meeting, he was surprised to find himself able to listen to others' perspectives without being overwhelmed by emotions. Carl shared that taking a moment to pause and breathe helped him handle issues more calmly and effectively. Instead of fueling the flames of anger, he chose to extinguish them from within. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that anger is not an enemy, but an opportunity to learn how to manage emotions. Pausing is not just an act of temporary withdrawal, but a powerful statement of self-respect and self-mastery. Remember, when you find stillness, you not only cool down your anger, but also send a silent yet powerful message. I control my emotions do not control me. Looking back at what we've discussed in this video, it's clear that anger is not just an emotional reaction, but also an opportunity for learning and growth. Stoicism teaches us that silence and emotional control not only protect us from unnecessary conflicts, but also strengthen our inner resilience and self-esteem. Practicing simple actions like pausing, thinking before reacting, or choosing silence when necessary can take you a long way in mastering your emotions. What are your thoughts on managing anger through Stoic principles? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. If you're unsure what to comment, you can leave a positive note like, "I will live a better life," or anything else inspired by this video. Don't forget to hit like if you found this video helpful. Share it to spread this meaningful message, and especially subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss upcoming videos where we explore ways to live more peacefully and powerfully every day. Thank you for watching. See you in future content, and don't forget to click on the related videos appearing now to continue your journey of discovery.